What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of The 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below. Thanks for being here, guys, to the best entertainment-related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. Space Jam: A New Legacy is scheduled to release in 2021, guys, and I cannot be more excited about this movie. Not only did I love the first movie, but now with updated graphics and, obviously like a new cast all around, I am extremely excited to see a new vision for Space Jam moving into 2021, guys. This is going to be something I believe is going to be really exciting. I can't wait to see someone else outside of, Michael Jordan kind of take the helm here, with LeBron James being the focal point of Space Jam: A New Legacy, and it should be something pretty special. What I want to talk about in this first segment of the show is everything that we know so far about the movie. So let's get into it. So guys, on Wikipedia, Space Jam: A New Legacy is an upcoming 2021 American live-action animated sports comedy film produced by the Warner Animation Group and directed by Malcolm D. Lee. The film is a sequel to the 1996 film Space Jam and stars NBA player LeBron James, as well as Don Cheadle and Sonequa Martin Green. The film also features the Looney Tunes characters such as Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny, and Daffy Duck. James also acts as a producer alongside Ryan Coogler, who co-wrote the script with Chev Ohanian. Talks for a Space Jam sequel began after the release of the first film, but eventually fell through due to Michael Jordan's refusal to return. So that's number one here, guys. I think that, Michael Jordan refusing to return, I'm not sure why he decided to do that. I'm sure now looking back, I would say that he probably wishes that he would have continued, because now with LeBron James and obviously the debate that's going on, and probably will be going on for a long period of time, is who's the greatest ever. I'm pretty sure that Michael Jordan probably wanted to make some more movies now looking back, because now LeBron is obviously making a significant approach and really being aggressive in trying to be, the greatest ever. And so I think that, honestly, guys, I think Michael Jordan should have returned, but obviously not returning. I'm really excited to see LeBron's take on Space Jam. I think that'll be interesting. I also am interested to see Malcolm D. Lee as the director helming this movie. I'm really interested to see how well he does with this. I think it's really cool that LeBron, as well as Ryan Coogler, who I also think is a great filmmaker, also were kind of producers, and then Ryan Coogler also co-wrote the script. So a lot of these things, guys, I'm really excited to see, in action here as we're moving forward. But I think with Michael Jordan refusing to return, I think that was a mistake on his part. But it's hard to say, whether or not. We'll kind of wait until A New Legacy comes out to see the direction they go in now moving forward. Now, several possible spinoffs focusing on other athletes, including Jeff Gordon, Tiger Woods, and Tony Hawk, were also discussed, but never came to fruition. Ultimately, Looney Tunes Back in Action was produced and released in 2003. A LeBron James-led sequel was officially announced in 2014, and after several years of languishing, filming began under Terrence Nance in June 2019 around Los Angeles. After a few weeks into filming, Nance left the project. Lee was hired to replace him in July of 2019, and then production wrapped in September of 2019. Space Jam: A New Legacy is scheduled to be theatrically released in the United States on July 16, 2021, by Warner Brothers Pictures. It will mark the first theatrically released film to feature the Looney Tunes characters since Back in Action. So that's the next thing that we have to really look at here, guys, is that it's scheduled to be released July 16th of 2021, which, obviously I hope they're able to stick to that date. However, we have to remember, guys, because of the pandemic going on in our world, it's very hard to say whether they're going to be able to stick to that date or if it's going to get pushed back. Maybe even come even closer. It's hard to say. I would say, though, that it most likely will stick with the July 16th date, or it'll be pushed back even further just because of this pandemic. And obviously, guys, they're being Space Jam, that being Warner Brothers, they're going to want to make sure that they don't have a ton of competition that they're going up against. I mean, a lot of the movies coming out later in 2020, there's going to be a lot of competition there. Next year, we know there's going to be a lot of competition, especially later on into 2021, that being like Avatar and movies like that. And so now you're wondering, do you want to move from that July 16th date? I think it would be really smart for Warner Brothers to try to stick to that date, make it a summer blockbuster movie. Now, another thing I found really interesting, guys, was that the music is by Hans Zimmer and Chris Bowers. Hans Zimmer, I believe, is the greatest music composer in the history of filmmaking. He's done so many incredible movies, guys, as far as his, just his score that he puts together is just, it is the best ever, in my opinion. So I'm very excited to see what he does here with Space Jam: A New Legacy, as well as Chris Bowers. So overall, guys, I'm very excited. Now, when we talk about, from a cast perspective, you look at, obviously LeBron James coming in. And I got to say, guys, that, I'm a massive LeBron fan. But as far as from an acting perspective, I do think that he is going to have an advantage over Michael Jordan, because LeBron was in Trainwreck, which I actually thought he did a really good job in Trainwreck, and he was a pretty funny character. I think this being somewhat of a comedy as well, I think he's actually going to do a really good job. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see when the final product comes out. But I think that in a number of ways, this has potential to be better than the original. Now, a lot of times, though, guys, when we talk about the original is, so beloved, and that's usually how it is with most film franchises. You have the original is so beloved, and then as you make sequels, a lot of times people don't like them quite as much as the original. But who knows, maybe this will be like one of those, be like Fast and Furious, that franchise that, gets better with time, or, so there's a bunch of franchises that do get better with time. It's just kind of rare. So we'll have to obviously keep an eye on that. Now, as far as the filming is concerned, principal photography began on June 25th of 2019, and then on July 16, 2019, it was announced Nance was leaving the project because he and the studio producers had different takes on the creative vision for Space Jam 2, and that Malcolm D. Lee would serve as his replacement. Bradford Young, who was set to serve as cinematographer, also left the project and was replaced by Salvatore Totino. Among locations used for filming included the Sheets Goldstein residence owned by James Goldstein, including turning its tennis court temporarily into a basketball court for the shooting. Production wrapped on September 16, 2019. The production spent a total of $183.7 million filming in California, receiving $23.8 million in tax rebates from the state. And then March 2020, photos taken on set and a brief recording of the wrap party were leaked online, revealing that the film will feature characters from other Warner-owned properties, which is really interesting. Lucasfilm's visual effects division, Industrial Light and Magic, was hired to create the visual effects for Space Jam 2. This is the second collaboration with the Looney Tunes in using ILM for visual effects since Who Framed Roger Rabbit. On April 30th, 2020, James officially revealed the title and logo of the movie via Instagram as Space Jam: A New Legacy. And you know what, guys? Another thing is I'm really glad with the name. I'm glad they didn't go with Space Jam 2 as like a sequel. I like that this is called A New Legacy. I think it's the perfect title for this, for this movie. Space Jam: A New Legacy, I think it's perfect. As far as, like we already talked about, guys, you got to kind of take the release date with a pinch of salt here. You have to, obviously, July 16, 2021, it may be pushed back even further. It's very hard to, to say, well, obviously, we will obviously kind of, keep you guys all up to speed as further information comes out. Now, here's something that's really interesting, though, guys, is reportedly Michael Jordan will make a cameo in the film saying hello to the new cast, which that's really interesting to see. Are we going to see LeBron and Michael Jordan on screen together? That would be a shot for the ages, guys. Because now it really feels to me that, you got LeBron kind of stepping on Michael Jordan's toes, and then Michael Jordan's kind of coming into this one almost stepping on LeBron's toes, and it's kind of seeing like both these guys, these mega superstars, on screen together, that's going to be interesting. In that exchange, if there is one, what that's going to be. Is it going to be just, friendly banter, or if it's going to be, each kind of player taking shots at one another, or what? I mean, I'm sure both these players have pretty, significant respect for one another, but that's going to be interesting that he is making a cameo in this movie. And so we'll see what that looks like as well. But I will be giving you guys, of course, more information as it comes out, guys. I'm really excited about this movie. Are you guys excited about it? Let me know in the comment section below, what is it you guys want to see out of Space Jam: A New Legacy? And for more Space Jam: A New Legacy content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. We've talked on the YouTube channel a number of times, guys, about Prototype and the future of this franchise, which I'm really hoping, guys, especially moving into the next generation of consoles, we get somewhat of a soft reboot of Prototype, or just a full-blown continuation of this franchise. And in this segment of the show, I'm going to give you the top 5 things that we want out of Prototype 3 in particular. And when I say we, guys, I'm talking mainly about myself here. Some of you will share similar opinions, and if you don't, or even if you do, let me know what the top 5 things you want in Prototype 3 in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So coming in at number 1, guys, I want to see the continuation of the Alex Mercer narrative, guys. I think it's really important, whether we go back in time, whether we go, way in the future, whatever it might be, guys. I think that Alex Mercer, there was a lot of mystery to this character. I think there were a lot of things that we really enjoyed. And see, the second game just wasn't as memorable, in my opinion, to the first game. I thought that they should have continued the Alex Mercer narrative a little bit longer, at least. There's nothing wrong with going on to new characters, but I just think that they should have kind of stuck with Mercer for a period of time. So I think that we need to continue the Alex Mercer narrative moving into Prototype 3. Whether Prototype 3 is like a soft reboot, whatever it might be, guys, I think that Alex Mercer's character, there's a lot for us to explore there. So that would be number 1. At number 2, guys, I really want to see more things for us to do within the world of Prototype. I mean, there's always consistent amounts of action going on throughout the course of the game, but I think that being able to explore, kind of being like just a normal person in this universe, instead of obviously having all those abilities, but ways in which that we can walk into stores and we can just act like a normal person if we want to. Just different things about the game, in my opinion, that I think there needs to be more exploration within this world as our character, as hopefully Alex Mercer, or even if it's a new character, that's totally fine as well if they decide to like go way in the future or something. But I really think that there just needs to be more to do. Along the journey of Prototype 3, I'd like to see there be a number of things that we can do along the way, whether that is, from the perspective of being able to do a bunch of other side missions, whether there's just things to do within the city or the environments around it. Just being able to just casually walk around if we want to. Having all of those things, guys, I think will really help build this franchise in a major way. Coming in at number 3, guys, that brings me to the, a part in which I believe needs to have new characters, some new enemies, new environments, new abilities as your character. So I want some existing characters from the other games, but I also want some new characters to be in the fray, as well as enemies, as well as abilities. Obviously, you're going to want other abilities. You don't want to copy and paste of Prototype 1 or Prototype 2. You want there to be the same kind of gameplay mechanics and such, but at the end of the day, you also are going to want an expansion on all those things, especially when we're talking about the abilities, especially when we're talking about, the enemies and things of that nature. This is a franchise, guys, that reminds me of Infamous from Sucker Punch, and I think that it's got something there. I actually liked the Prototype games more than Infamous personally, but I really want to see, like I said, the Alex Mercer narrative come back, and I would like to see their, expanded upon with new characters, new enemies, new environments and locations. We want it to feel somewhat like Prototype, but we also want it to have its own feel to it as well, so that it kind of sets itself apart. And maybe whether that means taking more chances, whatever the case might be, I would love to see that in Prototype 3. Coming in at number 4, guys, this is something that I talk about a lot on the YouTube channel, is having multiplayer modes as well as co-op modes when you're talking about these AAA titles that are being sold for $60. I think that you need to have multiplayer, you need to have co-op modes, and I think that a game like Prototype 3 could very well have both of those things within it, and that also helps build the franchise as a whole. When you're done beating the campaign, no matter how long it takes you to beat it, I think that going ahead and whether you play the game through again on a harder difficulty, looking for more collectibles and things of that nature, after a while, you're going to move on to another game most likely if there's not other ways in which you can connect with the franchise. And I think that Prototype 3 should have multiplayer modes where you can play with other people across the world, or co-op modes as well that you can play with your friends and kind of go throughout the world, whether it's from a campaign perspective, multiplayer perspective, or even like some co-op missions would be really cool as well. So having multiplayer and co-op I think is really important. And then coming in at number 5, guys, I'd love to see a longer story here within Prototype 3. I'd like to see a little bit of a longer story, especially if they're not planning on doing multiplayer as well as co-op. But even if they are, I'd like to see a longer story, more things to do within the world along the journey of the Prototype 3 story. I think that, remastering the other games is kind of the second part to this, to number 5 here, is having where, not only can we maybe get a soft reboot, but we can also have those games remastered, that being Prototype 1 and Prototype 2, on the next-gen consoles, which is going to introduce people to Prototype, and then Prototype 3 coming in maybe later or, around the same time so that people get fully acclimated with it. I think that could be something really, really special. But those are the 5 things, guys, that I want to see out of Prototype 3. The one other thing, guys, that I mention a lot is free-to-play. Could Prototype 3 being a soft reboot be a free-to-play game? Could maybe aspects of it, like multiplayer and co-op, be free? Those are questions that, obviously, it's hard to say. I believe, though, that it could be a really good free-to-play game if you had certain segments of it, like multiplayer and such, because then it's going to get everyone to at least try the game out. And then from there, it might have a pretty dedicated, viewer base as far as from Twitch or even from YouTube videos and such. Having more ways you connect with the franchise, guys, helps grow it over time. But let me know, guys, what are the top 5 things that you guys want in Prototype 3? Let me know in the comment section below. And for more Prototype 3 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. Pragmata is a new game, guys, coming to us in 2022 from Capcom. This is their newest IP in the last 4 years. And what I will say, guys, is all we're really going based on is a reveal trailer that came out from Capcom. And I wanted to propose this question, because this is a game that has what looks to be a lot of psychological elements as well as mystery to it. And being like that science fiction type of style, futuristic looking game, I think that we can really pose a question here, and I'm going to pass it on to all of you. What is Pragmata? What is this game all about? Because we only have certain clues, obviously, from the reveal trailer. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll kind of break down, some of the things that I saw within the trailer that kind of, relate to other games, how this game can maybe set itself apart, and ultimately what this game is going to be all about. So let's get into it. So guys, Pragmata, what I will say is when this reveal trailer came out, I was really intrigued by it, to be honest with you. There were things about it that reminded me of Death Stranding. That was probably like the most recent memory that I have that really, when I saw Pragmata for the first time, it reminded me significantly of Death Stranding. And that's not a bad thing whatsoever. It looks like one of those games that's going to have psychological elements to it. It looks like it's almost like there's going to be multiple worlds potentially. Now, I will say this, that it does look like most of this game is going to be maybe set on the moon. Maybe part of it is on Earth, part of it is on the moon. Now, as far as what kind of, are you going to be the robot or the guy that's within the robot? That kind of looks, that's probably the direction they're going. There's also the girl that is in the reveal trailer. Maybe she is a playable character as well at certain points, which would be a really interesting concept. What I will say is, from seeing the robot, it looks like he looked kind of like one of the characters or specialists from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, kind of like that kind of style. Kind of reminded me of Infinite Warfare as well. But as a whole with the game. There's a lot of mystery here, though. There's a lot that, you can kind of take from it. It looks like, your character's carrying a number of things similar to that of, like, Death Stranding. Now, I'm not saying that he's a delivery man or something like in Death Stranding, but it does look like you're going to have different tools and accessories, available that you can use to kind of traverse the world in certain ways that you want. Now, what that's going to mean exactly, it's hard to say. But it does look like there's going to be a number of ways that you can kind of traverse this world. I would assume, guys, Pragmata is going to be an open world setting. I would say that Pragmata is potentially an organization or something on Earth or maybe on the moon. And what they do, it's hard to say. I mean, we could kind of debate for a long time about the direction that Capcom is going with this game. And what I will say is that Capcom, being a new IP, it's hard to tell if this is what they want is this to be a pretty big franchise. I would assume so. They want this to be something that is like their next big IP. And so it looks like from a graphic standpoint, from all of those things, they are really thinking that this is going to be like the next big title for them, especially seeing as how we're seeing word about it now when the game comes out in 2022 and they let us know it's coming out in 2022. So we've got a couple of years, guys, until this game even comes out and we're able to play it. So this is going to be, we probably won't hear more information about this game for another 6 months to maybe even close to a year until we start seeing maybe some game footage or another reveal trailer or, continuations of what they've kind of started here after revealing Pragmata. My thought is that maybe your character is, you're exploring and picking, getting information about the moon, or you're kind of like a space marine or something, and you are, maybe you work on, they kind of insinuated that your character obviously, it looked to me, at least through the trailer, that a satellite kind of came through the glass, like a glass barrier that's around the world or something, which kind of gives you this impression that maybe the world actually isn't the world. It's just they're kind of putting this impression like it is or something from maybe the outside looking in, and which is kind of an interesting concept. This is why I think it's kind of psychological as well. They're going to try to really twist your mind and make it a mind-bending experience as well. But your character obviously comes in contact with that satellite, uses some kind of net to go around it so it protects you. So I wonder if they are, something like they work on some of these satellites or something of that nature. The other thing that was kind of interesting to me was they go to the moon and the girl is talking on the moon, doesn't have a mask, doesn't have any kind of, breathing wear, any type of suit that's she can just breathe normally on the moon. That's kind of an interesting concept. Is she like a mirage? Is she not really there? They showed the cat, which was like almost like some kind of mirage or something. And so what I'm getting at here is she really there? Or is this the game? Is Pragmata the game where all of the different speculation and theories around Death Stranding, is this the game where they're going to go there? Where they're going to be near a black hole? Or are they going to... All of those things that there were a lot of theories around Death Stranding, guys, if you remember, back when this game was building up to what we have now, lots of theories that, things were happening on one world and it was affecting, what was happening on the other world and things of that nature. Very mind-bendy stuff that people were, really just diving into all these theories on Death Stranding. But what I will say is that Pragmata, I'm wondering, is kind of that game that's going to really go that extra mile to make things very, convoluted and confusing and also psychological. So, from that trailer, though, we don't know a lot, guys. There's not a lot of things that we know as of yet. We know that this is a sci-fi, like a futuristic type of game, obviously, and it looks like, your character is probably somebody who, saves people, brings them back to the moon, or like, there's a million things that we could get into, guys. What is the game ultimately, though? I think, we're talking a science fiction based game that is set in the probably near to even maybe like far future, right? And it looks like it's going to be a semi-open world to a full open world, which I'm hoping is a full open world. It would be really interesting to have like colonies on the moon or something, and being able to explore that in a full open world setting. That could be something special for Capcom. But this is kind of my first impressions, guys, after really watching the trailer a number of times through, trying to kind of break things down and understand kind of what's going on a little bit. There's a lot of mystery here. There's a ton of mystery, I think, and I think that it's on purpose that they are doing that. They want there to be a lot of mystery there. They want there to be things that we have to figure out on our own as the story progresses. Like the satellite coming through into the world or through that glass barrier, if that's what they were insinuating. That kind of leads to some very interesting elements to this. Is this going to be something where you're using spaceships and things of that nature? Looks like there was almost some type of growth that was coming out of the ground, some kind of something, maybe that's what you're fighting, or these, something that's trying to destroy the world at the end of the day. And so you're trying to colonize the moon, or you're trying to do, whatever it is, get people onto the moon, essentially, maybe is the idea at the end of the day of this game. But with that though, guys, I want to know what your guys' thoughts on Pragmata was from the gameplay reveal. Even though it wasn't actually gameplay, just the reveal trailer, what were your thoughts on it, and what did you guys kind of get from it? I think all of us are kind of getting different things, which is really creating a lot of discussion. Let me know in the comment section below, and for more Pragmata content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. Skate is back, guys. This is a franchise that so many of us have wanted to see a continuation of. It's kind of like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, how we've wanted to see the continuation of it. And Skate, after Skate 3, people for years have been asking for another, true follow-up to this game and the continuation of this franchise. And I'm one of those people. I mean, I really enjoyed, the first Skate games. I enjoyed them a lot. Now, it's felt like this has been kind of one of those niche genres where it was really popular for a period of time, and then it kind of slowly fell off, similar to like Guitar Hero, Rock Band, and games like that. And, being that of, one of two juggernauts in the Skate, universe, that being Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and now Skate, those two games have really kind of gone back and forth, and now we're getting a remaster of, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and then we're now getting Skate 4, which is incredible, guys. What I will say about it is this. We didn't see anything about Skate 4 other than, of course, just the announcement that it's coming. I mean, we didn't see, a logo, which I was kind of hoping at least to see a logo that, we could kind of go based on, like Skate 4 is coming kind of thing, and we see that it's called Skate 4. Now, there's been talk and, speculation that it's not actually going to be called Skate 4. It's going to be called Skate, Legends or something like, something completely else. But what I will say about it is this, guys. The fact of the matter is that I'm glad that it was announced that it's coming out. And this was announced at EA Play, guys, which I thought that overall, I was kind of bummed out by some of the, the announcements that we knew about were great, but nothing really surprising other than Skate 4 being, announced that it's in the works. Now, the question is what stage of development are they in? Are they in like the early phases? I mean, how long are we going to be waiting for this game? Is it going to be like a year, 2 years, 5 years? I mean, because when you don't even show us a logo that it's coming, it could be years away. I mean, think of it this way, guys. Elder Scrolls 6, when that got announced a couple of years ago, they showed us just a landscape overhead shot, and it was a wide angle of all, just of the landscape, right? And it just said Elder Scrolls 6. It gave us that confirmation that the game is coming, but then the developer said that the game is years away from coming out, and we still haven't seen any gameplay, anything, since then. So what I'm getting at here is that Skate 4 isn't going to be as big as something like Elder Scrolls, But still, who knows how long it's going to take them to actually get this game out. Now, the one other thing that I'm really excited about, even though I didn't think the announcement was that great, because it would have been nice to see a logo or something, at least the game's going to be coming onto consoles, guys. I mean, it's not going to be like a mobile game. Now, maybe they'll make a mobile game for Skate, at some point or another, but it's nice that this is coming out on consoles. This is what we want. This isn't like just a quick money grab where they're going to make it a free-to-play game on mobile devices. It's not going to be coming out on like consoles. No, it's going to come out on consoles, which is a really positive thing, guys. Something that absolutely gets me really excited. Even though I wanted to learn more, or I wanted to kind of at least see a confirmation, like a logo or something, would have been like the icing on the cake. And then we would be just kind of waiting to hear more information, right? And so at this point, I think they're in very early stages of development, guys. I mean, this probably just got, recently, greenlit not too long ago. Maybe like, 6 months to a year ago, it was kind of greenlit. Maybe even sooner than that. It's hard to say, but all we know is that Skate's back, guys. Skate is back. It's here. It's going to be coming, probably in the next couple of years, I would assume. But we'll have to kind of wait and see as further information comes out. I know a lot of you are really excited. I'm excited too. Just seeing some of these older games coming back into, existence almost. I mean, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 getting remastered. That's really cool. Having Skate 4 come out, a true continuation of this franchise. I'm really excited about that. Fingers crossed they're just as good as we hope that they're going to be, and I'll keep you guys all up to speed as further information comes out for Skate 4. But let me know, guys, in the comment section below, are you guys excited that Skate 4 is coming? Did you like the announcement? Did you not like it? Did you want to see a little bit more, like a logo or something like myself? Let me know what you guys think, and what are you expecting to get out of Skate 4? Let me know in the comment section below, and for more Skate 4 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.